Monday morning, you all. How are you all doing? Happy Monday. This is your girl, Shan. I hope and pray that you all having a blessed morning on today. I hope you are getting up in the right mindset and the right mood, because don't nobody want to deal with no attitude on the day, okay? So as people are getting ready to, starting to come in or whatever, I got to make the church announcements. Then I'm going to jump into the marriage mornings with the queen topic of the day, okay? So our first announcement, our first church announcement, if you will, is Marriage Mondays with the Kings, our radio show that's tonight on KRGN 98.5 FM, The Rock. Good morning, Dalisha. And so tonight, let me make sure I read it correctly. We will be discussing marriage is to be honored. Why does it seem like people are starting to take marriage for a joke? So let me go ahead and answer just a few questions, and I'm going to jump into it real quick. Okay, so we have been asked, well, let me give a shout out to Toronto, Canada. All our listeners from Marriage Mondays with the Kings in Toronto, Canada, big shout out. If you are listening from another country, because we have a lot of people, good morning, Jackie, that are starting to listen from other countries. Drop your country that you are listening from. It is amazing to look up some of these places on Google that we never even heard of before. And not to say that we're not well versed, but because we are. However, someone asked, is this a podcast that you all have? No. Marriage Mornings with the Queen is not our radio show. Let me put that out there. Marriage Mondays with the Kings is our radio show. This came about because of Marriage Mondays with the Kings. Your girl got to keep it real and stuff like that. But we so happen to broadcast on various podcast platforms. I think we have like 11 now. And so we do that for people's convenience. Now, we'll go ahead and jump into it. Why fake it? Just make it. That's what I want to talk about on this morning. Now, y'all know y'all girl Shan come deep. I'm not trying to judge anybody. I need you all to think with me, okay? I need you all to let me know what you think. Like I said, I'm not trying to be judgmental, but I just have a question. This has been burning in my spirit for about a whole week since the last one. And so I'm dialoguing back and forth with God, and I'm going to be real with y'all. I just don't understand it. So the question is this. Why do we as a people spend so much time being fake? That's the question. I need some answers. Drop your answers in the comments below. Why do we as a people spend so much time being fake? So, of course, I always try to go to the scriptures and think of the scriptures. And I'm like, God, am I missing it? Is it some scriptures up in there? Whatever the case may be. That maybe that I don't know. If y'all know, drop it. I like to think that I'm well versed in scriptures. But I'm just wondering. And the reason why this came about is because I keep thinking about our young people and the conversations that we've had with various young people. Shout out to Faith Mission Ministries in Clarksville, Tennessee. Dialoguing with some individuals from that church last week, it made me think, and preparing for the dialogue, it made me think. So I'm not trying to judge anybody. And see, that's a lot of things that I see that happen. In this day and time, when someone hits a chord or a string, if you will, or they hit something that it hits a nerve inside, let me tell you what we do as a people. We get mad at the mouthpiece. We get mad at the messenger instead of asking ourselves, wait a minute, why did that hit me some kind of way? Because what we'll do to satisfy ourselves is say, oh, she crazy. She crazy. Oh, she being judgmental, whatever. But no, think about it. Why do we spend so much time as a people being fake? That's my question of the week that I would love for you all to answer. And I'm going to go back after this video. I'm going to take some time, some purposeful time, and I'm going to dialogue back and forth because I just want to know. So, getting back to the young people, and when I asked the question, and we hope to have some young people on next month because I'm very curious. And when I say young, I'm talking about young adults between 18 and 25, 18 and 27 is not married. I'm very curious to hear more of what they have to say. And what a lot of young people share with us is that they do not see marriages of substance anymore. And what I mean by that is they do not see, not to say that marriages have to be perfect, but why do we let's just look at life in general. Let's just look at life in general. Ask yourself, because I know I am, are you guilty of faking it? Are you guilty of faking anything in your life? And if you are, ask yourself why. Now, I'm going to tell on myself because that's something that I often do. Me and my husband, we tell, ourselves we're very transparent about our journey called marriage because we hope and pray that it'll bless someone else. Shan, was you guilty of faking it in anything in your life? Yes, I was. And let me tell you what it was. I was guilty of faking being happy at points in my marriage when I was not happy because I was too busy worried about what people around me thought. What would they think or whatever the case? Now, me and my husband never wanted to put our marriage out there like it's all that and this, that, and the other and stuff like that. No, we were never ones to do anything like that. But let me break it on down like a fraction and tell on myself. Yes, I was guilty of faking things because I was too busy worried about what my fellow church members thought. That's actually what it was, and I'm gonna tell the truth, baby. I will put on a fake smile, and I'm not saying you go and you tell your business or you walking around with an attitude where it's evident. But see, what I'm starting to see with this new social media age, and I seen somebody who put this out there, and I actually thought it was funny. I'm just gonna be real. But with this new social media age, good morning, Simone. People was like, wait a minute. For couples, you flashing it all on social media. Oh, I'm this, I'm that. Oh, we've newly married. Oh, we not so much that you married, but we doing this. We got this new car. We got this. We got that. Hey, Becky, or whatever, and this, that, and the other. But then all of a sudden, you stop posting. What's up with that? Good morning, Cherie. You stop posting. Why we faking it? Why we faking it like we happy when we are not? Why we faking it like our life is so glamorous and we're all guilty of it when we are not? So then I'm gonna go a step further for those who are married. We all in this married gang or whatever the case may be. I'm gonna ask this question right here. When it comes to our marriage, why do we put more effort into being fake than actually working on the marriage? Because we guilty too. We get on social media, whatever the case may be. And my thing is, being that God is the creator of marriage, according to what I've read in the scriptures, being that God created the institution of marriage, do you think that God will be pleased and honored when we're walking around saying that our marriage is glorified by God, but we actually being fake? Now I ain't trying to call nobody out or anything like that, but the one that I knew to be fake, Satan, Lucifer, the devil, however you want to put it up in there. So I don't think walking around faking is going to help anything when it comes to us. Because when we are walking around being fake for the likeness, the likes, the shares, and all this other kind of stuff like that, God is not getting any glory when it comes to our marriages or anything and stuff like that. Or because see, you can only fake for so long. This is something that I know. Good morning, Heather. You can only fake for so long. And so I start to see a breakdown. And that's what, and marriage, we got our ups and downs. So I'm not trying to say everything is going to be perfect. But what I'm saying is put more work into your marriage of taking care of things that need to be addressed and taking care of issues in a healthy way instead of putting more effort into being fake for the likes and the shares and all this other kind of stuff like that. Because what this individual said, and I've seen this several times, y'all probably seen it too, especially on Facebook, is wait a minute. Y'all was putting all this out there like y'all had this old glorious life and everything. What happened? Continue to put everything out there. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm seeing that a lot with the younger people. You're putting all this stuff out here. You trying to, oh yeah, we this and we got this and blah, blah, blah. But baby, now it's crickets. Are y'all still together? Y'all not together? That's what the meme said. We want to know. Give us an update as to what is going on. And I know that's a messy meme, but I found it to be very funny because it's actually very true. So ask yourself as an individual, are you fake? And I'm not talking about, hair, nails, all that kind of stuff like that. I'm talking about just in general. Do you live your life as a mirage? Do you live your life, there's something that's totally just for the like? Do you live your life in your marriage just for the likes, the shares, and the attention of everybody else? Because let me tell you something I know. Almost 22 years in this game. When you really in this thing called marriage and you really want your marriage to work, you don't have time to be sitting up here faking nothing because you're too busy grinding, the both of you, the husband and the wife, trying to make it work. And so I can kind of understand the young folks when they say, You know what? They've kind of lost hope in marriage. That's what one person told us. I kind of lost hope in marriage because they didn't see a healthy marriage growing up in their home. They didn't see the dad and or the wife, the dad and or the mom being healthy when it comes to the marriage growing up in the home. So that's already one strike. Then you go out into the world and maybe you say, okay, because I know I was guilty of this. I didn't see healthy marriage within my home. So let me go ahead and look up. Because remember back in the day we was growing up, I know I'm not that old, when you would look up to someone else, I would look up to other people's marriages because it would give me hope to say, hey, marriage is still a good thing. Marriage still exists. Marriage is still a positive thing. And I would always watch them individuals. I find myself at the age of 42 now where I go back and I will let those people know that I looked up to. Thank you so much for being an example, because you never know who is watching. And so when we sitting up here putting on a fake reality show instead of dealing with the issues, it's going to come to a head where it's no longer going to be good. And I'm just going to be honest. If we're not keeping God as the foundation of our marriage head or whatever the case may be. So those are the questions that we have to ask ourselves. Why do we get into a place where we work harder on faking things instead of actually grinding and making it happen? I've seen it in business. You see people, I'm just going to, yeah, y'all know me, I'm going to call a spade a spade. I've seen it in business. And in some regards in business, it's even been said, oh, fake your business like you really doing better than what you're doing. And so that way until you make it. And I thought that was that advice did not sit well with me because I don't want to fake nothing, like I said. So that's one. I've seen it in church. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, me and my husband, we was guilty of it or whatever. But one thing that we wasn't guilty of is when we were going through in our marriage and we were in leadership position in the church, we would sit our tail down. That's what we would do. We wouldn't be trying to lay hands on nobody, prophesy over nobody. We weren't trying to do nothing, minister to nobody in any type of way because we were hurting. And that's something that we were taught by our bishop, who is now an apostle. Get somewhere and sit down. You see what I'm saying? Don't be hurt and you sitting up here spewing and putting your words and all this stuff in your hands on the people of God. See, somebody ain't ready for that conversation because that takes some maturity. Okay? I've seen people fake it on the job. People that fake that they got degrees and all this kind of stuff because you buying degrees offline so you can try to get this job. But do you not think that it's going to catch up to you? So that's my question for the week. Why do we spend so much time faking it? Why do we spend so much time puffing ourselves up greater than what we are? Because if I'm not mistaken, when I read in the scriptures, puffing yourself up wasn't a good thing. It didn't end too well for Satan, Lucifer, the devil, whatever you want to call him, the thief, the adversary, the serpent, or whatever. It didn't end too well. So why are we doing that? Now, we are in a time in this pandemic, and I'm just going to keep it real. And I've been saying this probably since February, March time. No, I've been saying this since March time frame, actually, is that everything that we did not work to resolve or we did not work on prior to this pandemic, I don't care what it is. Right now, I'm not mad at this pandemic because it's exposing a lot. It is. Anything that people were faking, anything that people were avoiding to do, whether it be in your marriage, hey, Cousin Kim, guess what it's doing? It's like oil and water, and that's the analogy I'm going to keep using. And what happened with oil and water? Some of y'all know you put oil and water when the thing ain't working out right, baby. I don't care how bad you shake it up, it's not going to mix. The oil and the water is going to separate, and the oil, which represent the problems, is going to come to the top. Good morning, Renee. It's going to come to the top. And see, that's what's happening during this time. And so guess what? You can no longer fake it. I don't care who you are, from all the way to Donnie in the White House, all the way down to your marriage in your home. Baby, you can no longer fake it. I remember praying in 2018, no, actually starting 2017. God, please reveal some things. Remove the wool off of my eyes and everybody else's eyes. And I believe that God is being a revealer during this time. Because guess what? Those who were struggling with their finances before, and you was overextending them credit cards and different things like that, going to get vehicles that we say, oh, God bless me with this new vehicle and everything like that. But God ain't bit more told you to go get that vehicle. And so you sitting up here feeling some kind of way because right now you can't pay for the vehicle because what's going on. Maybe God said, I need you to come out of debt. I know that's what he told us. So the Kings is okay. We sitting okay because we did what God said in 2017. See, a lot of people were too busy instead of trying to impress God. They was trying to impress people. Who am I talking to on this morning? Many of us have jumped into marriages that God didn't even put unction in our spirit to get into the marriage. And then we set up here wondering why we're struggling right now. Are you on your knees praying to God saying, God, okay, I'm listening? Because let me tell you something. I know when God starts to whoop my tail in a spiritual way, I'll be like, okay, God, this is too much for me to bear. What do I need to do to make it right? You see what I'm saying? Because I don't know about y'all, but I don't like going through. That's why I don't fake it. I ain't got time to fake it. I ain't even got the energy. I'm getting old. So that's another thing. In the marriages, you're too busy faking it. You get around. And think about this with me. Because, I was guilty of this. So I'm just being honest with y'all, trying to help somebody on this morning. Arguing and fussing and cussing and carrying on and everything all up in the house. Arguing and fussing and cussing in the car. Acting a whole fool. You heard me? And then when you get out, hey, how are you doing? Oh my God, girl, it was good to see you. And then people even had the audacity to come up and say, oh, you and Kenya make such a nice couple. Girl, I know. Girl, thank you. Glory be to God. You just a lie and the truth ain't in you. That's what we say in the country. So we need to get back to, this is the time. This is what I feel. This is the time of restart right here. Whether it be making your wrongs that you did right, and we've all done this. That's what I said. I'm not judging. Because guess what? Like I said, you can only fake for so long. You can only fake that you're happy for so long, and it's going to come out. You can only fake on that job for so long like you an expert when you're not. You can only fake in the church for so long. Now look at us. A lot of us is watching church online, honey. We can't even go to church and see you know what I'm saying, our fellow church members, and we ain't judging. I'm just keeping it real because y'all done seen it. I know I'm not the only one who you sitting up here, baby, you dressed to the nines when you come to church, but everything you purchased was put on a credit card and you can't even pay for what you wearing, but you make sure you go out every week or you order to get your attire together ahead just to get a few likes from the fellow church members. Oh, every time I look at you, Shan, girl, you always looking sharp. Oh, look at you, girl. You got that new Louis Vuitton, that Hermes handbag, honey, and can't even afford it. You see what I'm saying? I believe God is calling us back to a new right now. When it comes to your marriage, if you know that you came into that marriage on false pretense, and this is what I mean, I give a good country example. If you know you came into that marriage to use the person in whom you married, see, God don't like ugly, so God is going to do a lot of releasing in this time. He's going, because people, your spouse is crying out saying, God, I don't understand. This person presented themselves to be a certain way, God, but right now, God, I don't understand. I feel like all the weight and the heaviness and the burden is on me. So, God, I ask that you release whatever this is, God. And see, that's what your spouse is doing. And God is a revealer. Okay, I don't know about y'all, and I ain't trying to preach on this morning, but God is a revealing God. So he's revealing some things. God has been revealing some things to you all about your job. When he told you to go back to school or go get a new trade like 2 years ago, but you was too comfortable with that check and you didn't understand that God was going to bless you on the other side. I done share with y'all, just like God told me to leave a government job in 2016, and I was looking at my check like, God, this a whole government job. You really, God, is this really you or is this the devil? How you doing, Rodney? Those are the questions that I had. And God said, trust me. And see, that's the thing. The reason why we operate and we walk around in fakeness is because we don't trust God. Let's be real on this morning. What are some things that you can say that you've trusted God for? I know when God told me to leave that government job, when God told me to start and go back to school, he provided, because I was like, okay, God, I don't want to just jump off the cliff, but let me contact somebody and see, can I get, another job or whatever. It might not be paying as much, but I got to have some income. But let me tell you how good God is. God blessed to where I was making more money. When I was going to school, I was making more money. Checks coming in that was more than what I was getting paid on my government job. Shan, why did you share that? Because we have to get back to the time of trusting God and everything that we do. I remember growing up in the church, and the song used to be sung, order my steps in your word, dear Lord. Teach me, guide me, show me the way. How many of y'all remember that? How many of us have been praying that during this time? God, order my steps when it comes to my marriage. God, I don't want to hate my husband. I love him, but I have so much hate in my heart. Somebody going through this right now. That's why I'm saying that. I don't have no hate because I love my king, honey. Yes, God. We've gotten to a good and peaceful place in our marriage, but we had to work to get there. But somebody is carrying hate and contention in their heart against their spouse right now. And you sitting up here, God, fall on your knees. Get to praying and ask God to order your steps. You see what I'm saying? Some of y'all going through, I remember I used to cry in my closet and pray, and my flesh was saying, leave my husband. I'm going to be honest with you. My flesh was saying, go ahead and leave. But I was praying, God, please turn our marriage around. God, I know we could do better. And like I said, when God gave me that vision, y'all need to quit being the enemy fighting against each other. And once y'all start learning how to work to come together, I will bless you more than you can even ask or think. That's scripture. Let me tell you, God is not a lie. Okay? Because God has blessed us, but me and my husband had to do the work to come on one accord. So this is a time of reset. Are you going to stay married or are you not? Some of y'all know, you got in the marriage for the wrong reason and God didn't order y'all steps. Some of y'all know that God dropped an unction in your spirit to say, this is who you supposed to be with. That's the first prayer. God, am I supposed to leave? I know that your words say that God hate divorce, but then I know that you also made provision in the New Testament. See, people don't talk about that. They want to beat you over the head with God hate divorce. See, get into the scriptures for yourself. Do a 2 Timothy 2:15 for yourself. Study to show yourself approved, rightly dividing the word of truth. Get into the word for yourself. And see, that's another thing that God is allowed to be exposed. A lot of the things that we've been taught, when you actually read your scriptures, you'll be like, because I know I did. Wait a minute. When I was growing up in church, they said that this bit, and this ain't even what it means. Okay? A lot of us are even operating out of being fake because that's all we've seen our entire life. When are we going to change the cycle? We're grown. Okay, we're grown, like we like to tell people. When are we going to change the cycle? Let me share with you, and I'm about to get ready to go. I promise you, this is my first and last closing, unless God puts something else in my spirit. But let me share with you how glorious it is to be able to operate and live in peace. Let me share with you how glorious it is to be able to have that free fall faith that I told y'all back in January. For some of y'all been following, it feels amazing to get up and say, okay, God, what we doing today? I'm not worried about nothing, God. And when people say, Shan, how are you doing? My response is always, I'm taking it day by day, because this is free fall faith. This is peace. And see, a lot of us can't get to a place of peace because we're operating in fakeness in our lives. You see what I'm saying? Because we want to have the applaud of people instead of the well done, my good and faithful servant from God. So yeah, your girl gonna put it out there. If things are not working right now in your life, no matter what it is, I don't care if it's your church, I don't care if it's your job, I don't care if it's your kids acting a whole fool like the old folks used to say, I don't care if it's your marriage, stop and ask God why. God, why is this? Good morning, Sharita. Why are things operating the way that it is in my life? God, what do I need to do to change? Because a lot of it started with us. This is a season of release where God is allowing things to be released off of us, the mistakes that we have made. And God is saying, release yourself from this. Because see, everybody is waiting for this pandemic to be over. But I believe, just like people out ain't wearing their masks, they going to these corona parties and all this other kind of stupid stuff, they're keeping it spreading, they're keeping it going. I believe that God is going to release when people get back to his will and his way. And his will and his way is a lot better than the faking that we have been doing. When God show you on your timelines, on your social media, the hearts of people, we want to continue to have a fake relationship with them and try to believe that the good in them. But God is a revealer. So what has God been revealing to you during this time? I know he's been revealing a lot. And I sit up, man, baby, do you see? Am I tripping? And he be like, So God is a revealer. What is he telling you to cut the cords on? Okay, what is he telling you to remove yourself from? What is he telling you that you need to do better in your marriage? God is telling some of y'all husbands, quit being so prideful. Wives, quit having an attitude and talking your man down and whatever the case.